How's it going, everyone? Abysmal here. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. This episode is going to start a little bit differently than the normal ones just because I want to put a little preface, viewer discretion is advised sort of thing. Not for anything serious, but in terms of the context that my father and I are speaking in, I just want to address this podcast and the rest of them moving forward to say that it's not that deep. Upbringings are different. Everything isn't black and white. A lot of things are a moral gray area. And for my father, the way he speaks, the way he acts, and the way he views things is it's an outcome of his upbringing, which was different from yours, which would be different from anyone else's. So take everything with a grain of salt. Don't take it out of context, or don't try to misconstrue his thoughts or words in a manner that's just reaching. I say that it's in the description as well, but the book and the purpose of the book is to just show a human experience. I really don't know how to word it anyway else. He's older. He doesn't view racism, bigotry, even name calling the same way you might. If this offends you in any way, you're free to ignore the podcast, not to watch it. But if you're looking for some other kind of perspective and you want to see how experiences might have affected you or others, or even myself and my father's, then continue to watch the podcast. It's supposed to be a learning experience, and in no way is any of this directed at a certain group or I guess minority. That's a weird thing to say, considering me and my father are quote unquote part of a minority. But if that's the way y'all want to look at it, then look at it from that point of view. We're not generic cis white males or anything like that. We're part of a group of people, but we don't make it part of our identity. We're just talking about life. So take it as that. Just talking about life. You've been warned. Welcome everyone to Lucas Pucas Podcasts. We still don't have a name.
I was just thinking about that. Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, Lucas Pucas Podcast, where we talk about life and stuff and other things. If it might interest you, you can take a look down in our description where we have the Patreon where y'all can go to support the podcast, as well as the book that we are going to attempt to write while we are doing the podcast. A lot of the stuff we're going to cover in the podcast will be in the book, and if you want to kind of get ahead on that, help us support that for our publishing and editing fees and anything else, you can get yourself some free merch, and you can just continue supporting this kind of content. So, Lucas Pucas, how'd your day go?
Well, we were discussing that. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired. This is one of the rarest forms where it's 10 o'clock, the evening is young on a weekend, and I'm yawning my ass off.
Is it unusual for you to be sleepy beepy?
No, it's unusual for me to be yawning my ass off.
I was going to say, you'd always be bitching that. We'd be yawning.
God damn, I already yawned like 5 times, man.
Yeah.
Got teardrops coming out of my eyes.
I just have I was going to say, I just have a really shit sleep schedule.
Well,
I don't know what your issue is. Well, no, you have a shit sleep schedule too.
Yeah, but today I was like, you know what? I don't know why, man. I was gonna go to sleep early and say it's a weekend. It's not like I'm partying. It's not like I got people coming over.
Yeah.
It's not like, let me call my third, fourth cousin, see if he wants to go party. Nah, I can't even fucking do that, man.
Would y'all do that a lot? I feel like partying culture has kind of changed.
It has. I would assume it has. Nowadays, the guys that I party with, hey, yeah, man, come on, man, got my number? Yeah, okay, here's my number. Well, come on over, and I'll call you. Okay, well, I'll call you too, and then we take off. And it's like, do I really want to party with this motherfucker? You know, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should.
You like to talk about it more than you like doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But there are some partying motherfuckers, I guess, but they're considered alcoholics, you know.
I guess it changes with age, and I guess that's the stereotype. Is like, oh, you get older, you just don't want to go out and do that stuff. But I think we were talking about that in terms of like like mom when she was going out to the bars and stuff like that. It's like you really only go out to bars to party and all that just for like one reason, and it's just to get fucked.
Get hooked up.
Yeah.
Hooked up.
And I mean, I have no use for it. Sean might have more of a use for it, but even then, his dating game is like so much different than I would say yours.
Yeah.
Sean.
So let's talk about that, Sean. How you pick up a girl nowadays?
Yeah. How
how
do you slide in?
You gotta give your dad some pointers in case I do decide to go to like a club. Or they don't allow me at my old age in a club anymore.
I don't know. I've seen like I've seen shows make fun of that where like older people go to a club. It's like, no, it's okay. Well, like we're just trying to have a little fun. They're like, get out of here, you fucking old person. Go take your 10 o'clock nap, and like actually making fun of them. Sean, how you get bitches?
Okay, so I'm in the awkward stage where I can't go out because I'm 20. So like the people like where would I go out to like meet people?
So that's why you take your old man where I can go with you and say, no, he's my kid. He can come in, and you're like embarrassed because of that reason. You know what I mean?
They don't do that shit no more.
I don't think they would be like, you can. The old guy can come in, but the young guy, he's gonna have to stay outside.
Stay at the door. Yeah.
Or no, he can come in, but he's got to wear his purple band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That way, everyone knows. Yeah, you can't be giving them alcohol. They probably have that in clubs just for the sake of that.
They have like I think like a stamp. Some of them have like a stamp.
That's so stupid. Why would you even go to a club if you can't drink? People really out there just trying to get fucked by strangers, huh?
Yeah, and that's basically how you come across that. I don't know. You still didn't say how you try to pick them up.
Yeah,
it's just like, ew. I wish it would be like that. Hey, you want to fuck?
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know you.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we have to let's set it up for him, Sean. So where do kids your age pick up? Like, where do your kids your age go to party to mingle? Where do y'all go to mingle? That's the main thing. Going out and dancing and doing drugs is different. Where do y'all go to mingle?
I don't know. Especially like down here, it's like the beach, I guess, but.
Yeah,
that's like only during summer break, I guess. But
that's where I need to go hang out.
Not much down here. Yeah. Just like I don't know, Mexican restaurants.
Does Corpus have nightclubs? I know we got the Cheetah Club,
like the
Leopard Club.
I forgot what it's called. The one on like the stores.
It's
like
some kind of big cat.
Yeah. I mean like.
You gotta be kidding! Y'all don't know where the fucking bars are at or clubs are at?
No, I never went.
Oh,
I go drinking at Chili's with Ursula, and then I drop her off like 5 minutes later than I should have. At Chili's, yeah.
It's okay. That's the hangout.
Mm-hmm.
Chili parking lot.
Okay, so let's say that Sean managed to find a bar, okay, and there is a substantial amount of women. Sean, are you going for
a club?
Club. The bar. Nah, yeah, club. I guess. Let's split it down the middle and say like Western dance club. Like people get there to drink and to dance. You're going to Walmart. Drunk and high. No.
No, I really because I want a costume for tomorrow.
I go to Walmart.
We'll go tomorrow then.
But.
You're inebriated. We're going tomorrow.
No, but I need
Is that what you're saying? That's where your hangout's at, Walmart?
Ursula, we'll go tomorrow. We are no.
Oh, you're talking to Ursula. I thought you were talking to Sean.
No, you're not.
I literally just need a top and pants.
We will go tomorrow early. The con's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but I want to go early.
We will go early.
We're not gonna go early. We're not gonna get up
tomorrow.
It opens at 8.
I'm not driving.
I'm literally fine.
No, you're not.
She's like,
no,
drive.
I'm not, Ursula.
I am.
You are not fine either.
Yes, I am.
End of discussion. Jesus Christ.
Is she toasted?
She's both, and she's like, no, I'm fine. It's like, no, because then I'm going to be the asshole sitting here having a podcast, and then she's going to be like like wheeze crying.
Calling
He's
you,
like,
calling you,
I
calling you.
crashed the car. I don't know where I am. It's like, well, yeah, that's what happens.
Literally won't
What do you want me to go
down
pick
the
you
road.
up with? My big ass muscular forearm?
Mm-hmm. No, Ursula.
Tell me what do you want me to get now?
No. You can come over here and sit down.
No!
Okay, so Sean's at the country. Is it a country club? No. Western dance. He's at the West.
Country club.
Yeah, he's at the country bar where you go to drink and to dance, but not to exclusively do one. Sean, first step. Who are you setting up as your target?
The goth chick.
The goth chick. You think there's a goth chick at a Western bar?
Why would I go? I would never go to a Western bar. First of all.
Well, we put you there, so you got. Okay, then fuck.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta.
totally fucking Sean with his long ass hair and at a Western bar. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
totally out.
Okay, I guess that was my fault for putting him there.
The only Mexican in the Western bar too. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't like your kind here too much.
I'm like
country,
90%
yeah."
sure it is not classified as a Western bar. We just don't know the name of it.
It's just like a regular bar. You mean? Then?
Redneck bar, yeah, country bar. It's
Okay, so
speci-
a regular bar.
Okay.
Just put me in a regular fucking bar.
Okay. Sean's in a
That's a
bar
dance
that has like a
floor.
little dance floor in it. Not a
And-
club
and
exclusively
karaoke.
where you just go there to snort and dance, but also a place where you can drink. Okay. Sean, he
It's
has
like a club.
yes, it's a club. Okay. And he has set himself up for the target, which is the goth girl. What do you even mean by goth nowadays?
Yeah, does that have a?
You just mean like pale skin, like dark hair, black makeup, black eyeliner, black
That's the ideal.
ideal. Is she buxom in any way, or is it just that aesthetic for it? Like she could,
Buxom?
yeah,
What the fuck does that mean?
big ass, big butt, big boob,
Buxom. I
buxom.
mean, she could
You-
be. Yeah.
That's French. Buxom.
I don't think so.
It's hard to get all that in one package,
Yeah.
and especially playing golf.
Okay. In that sense, Sean, as you're approaching her, you're starting to get the vision of the perfect goth girl in front of you. What she look like?
Pale skin, has those like what do you call those, like fucking ball stompers boots?
Ball stomping boots. Yes.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Black lipstick. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So she
There's
has
no
no
such-
eyes
yeah.
or hair or lips.
What do you fucking want? What do you want? Just like to describe a girl? Like, I don't know. Like,
Sean has found his floating pair of ball stomping boots that is pale skin. Now, what do you say to her to initiate this transaction of possible sexing?
Yeah, I'm fucking curious, man.
what's good, honey?
What's good?
What's
honey?
good, honey?
What's
Okay.
good, honey?
And she says, and she starts clawing at her no lips because you didn't give her any lips as you started walking towards her.
Okay, so she's a regular fucking woman with a goth aesthetic.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure the audience can imagine that. Okay, so you said, "What's up, Humpty?"
I'm still trying to.
Yeah.
So she has like, I don't know, just like she has regular lips with maybe an average bigger size average nose, bigger than average nose.
What did that have?
Not big
Are you
lips,
just trying to
like
paint a
you.
picture? Or are you just adding shit in there because we were being
Do y'all
specific?
want to paint a picture? Because you sounds like you want a fucking a picture.
Well, now I'm wondering what your fascination with a big nose is compared to a normal sized nose.
Honestly, there's like a lot of girls with like just a big nose. It's crazy, actually.
So
Yeah, there is.
it wasn't your. You just assumed. Sorry.
All right.
No, I choked on my fucking spit. Editor, cut it out.
I'm gonna have to call 911.
Or leave it in. Holy shit. Didn't you used to have a story with that? With I'm not gonna give you my for my
What?
dad?
Do what?
Didn't you used to have a story about that? Some guy choking in your
What?
store?
Oh no! Do you really want me to go there?
You might as well. Fuck Sean's fantasies, you fucking idiot. You don't even know what you want. Dad, talk about the choking in your stores.
Let me see if I can get that. We might have to do 2 on this, but let me try.
That's fine. That's fine. That was a good segue into the story.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just cover that one, and I guess we can cut it. Okay. So I forgot. Hang on.
Set the scene for us,
dude. I don't want to sound so negative, man.
It's okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. So yeah. Okay.
That's the point of the podcast. It is.
Oh yeah, I know, but still, the way I'm describing it and shit. Okay, so we have a cousin of mine. I have to paint a picture here. And I'll see if I can do my best on this one. So we have a cousin of mine. His name is. Do I get to name names and stuff?
You might as well. I mean, we can. It's not like we're getting any. What do you call it?
I mean, you can we're use code names.
Yeah, go ahead and just name him basic Mexican name. How about that?
Jose.
Okay.
Jose. Is that his name?
No, I just throw it in there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a mental. Jesus, what do you say it? How do you say it? Mental retarded.
Mentally handicapped. How about that?
Oh, okay, mentally handicapped. Okay, so
in the nicest terms, yes.
Yeah, he's mentally handicapped because I don't want to say retarded. So a cousin of mine, so he's mentally handicapped, and he was dropped on his head as a baby. So they said.
And he was mentally handicapped.
Classic.
No, he was
got the one
he was
too.
mentally handicapped because of that reason. Yeah. Anyway, long story short. So he's constantly salivating at the mouth most of the time. So he's always got moisture on his mouth.
Okay, yeah, that was a very good picture painter.
And he's got cross-eyed eyes and stuff. So he used to have a comic book store, and I was more in the white neighborhood kind of area.
Mm-hmm. The desirables, if you will.
The desirables. So he had one lady come in and had a child. I think he was like 11 years old, and they were really, really sheltering him from all the violence around, I guess.
Punisher and the X-Men and Image
so it had
Comics.
It had to be G-rated, and even bloodshed. It couldn't be no blood or anything like that. It had to be really rated G for a little 13-year-old.
Did y'all even have those kind of series back then?
No, they didn't. So it was kind of hard.
Yeah, I was just thinking, y'all had a bunch of like overly muscular like dudes with big smiles, like ripping other people in half. Like that's all y'all had.
Yeah. So I tried my best, right? But I couldn't put him into anything. So I lied. So he actually got some pornographic, kind of.
He got pornographic about page 20.
Boobies.
Yeah.
Had Psylocke showing her fucking cleavage and stuff, and
that's how you create psychopaths.
I told her no, we don't have that many books, and I told her I'd get her some books. I did my darndest to get them. She didn't really look them over. She looked them over, but not really. She acted like she was doing her job, but she didn't.
No, exactly.
Because
she's just gonna throw this fucking kid in a room with those books and tell him to shut the hell up for like 20 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, call me if you ever like
choking.
So I gave him some good books. So anyway, I had this friend, a cousin of mine, and he was mental like that. And he come in and he was riding with another friend of mine. His name was Mando Carviales, and he was this big biker dude with long, kinky, curly hair all the way down his ass. I mean, he was about 7'8", something like that, and weighed about 400 pounds. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm pretty close.
So anyway, motherfucker is what he meant to say.
Big, ugly biker guy, come in with his mentally strange kid. Well, not kid, but acting like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, he had this bad problem where he couldn't speak very good English and stuff. So this prominent white lady was in there with her kid, And when she walked in, she kind of got scared when she saw these two Mongolian stomper-looking creatures, man, in my store.
Mongolian type.
Mongolian.
So she kind of hesitated and looked at me, and then I looked at her, and I'm like, "Oh shit," because we were already talking stuff, and and these guys come in and just talk shit with me all the time anyway too.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Come on in. These are friends of mine, and I know them pretty well. They're not gonna hurt you."
Was that rampant back then? Just like random bikers, like robbing stores or just beating up little white ladies with their kids?
No, but being there in the comic book store with three Mexicans, of course, they're
and they all look at you,
I guess,
whenever you walk in the door, to see who it is. So
yeah. And that was the thing behind it, is that I long-haired Mexican, was in that that type of neighborhood selling to these kind of kids. It still wasn't right.
Oh, okay, yeah. Y'all are setting up a real To Kill a Mockingbird trial.
Pretty much. So anyway, this guy, he couldn't speak very good English, and he asked me. We used to have a gumball machine, and this gumball machine, you put 25 cents in there, give you this big old huge gumball. Well, in this gumball machines, they were all sorted colors, but they were glazed. Most of them were glazed, the red glaze, purple glaze, but they were big gumballs.
I think I even remember you having that in your garage. Am I wrong?
There was
I had other small little ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember having. No, yeah, you're right. I did have it.
Yeah,
in my
it was
garage.
the big one. Yeah.
It was the big one. Yeah, I did have it in there. So anyway, he come across, and he asked me for a quarter. And in Spanish, he kept asking me, man, que look, ten cuida. What do you want a quarter for, Gilbert? He's like, I'm gonna buy some chicle. That's chewing gum in Spanish.
Chicle. Is it actually pronounced chicken?
No, it's chicle.
Chicle. Okay. So
it sounded like chicken on Discord.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's because he sounded like that. That's what he spoke.
He actually was saying that, but I was actually curious what the pronunciation was and how badly he was fucking it up. Go on.
Really bad. So she kind of freaked out, and I gave him 25 cents. But for the gumdrops, I mean the gumballs, they were glazed except for the white ones. Mm-hmm. And the white ones, every time you got them, and they were like, those are the only ones that would come out for some reason or another.
You can see all the bright color ones on the top, but for some reason there's just a massive pool of them, underneath that first layer.
Yeah, there's all the white ones, the cheapy ones, I guess, or something.
It sounds like the fillers, yeah. It sounds like actual aesthetics.
So they weren't glazed, so that you had this powdered gumball, basically. And everybody would get them and choke on the powder because I guess it wasn't enough slobber in your mouth to be able to swallow.
Dries your mouth out completely.
Just dry your mouth out, man. So, and a lot of people choke on those, and there's several other stories with those, man. But anyway, this one was one of the funniest ones. So Gilbert gets the fucking gum and starts chewing on the gum, and this lady comes in, she's chopping around and she finds a couple of books, and well, I'm trying to kind of hurrying her up because I got these two monsters in my
Mexicans that are gonna come in,
yeah, and I know she's getting kind of leery or scared or whatever the case is there. So I'm pushing her out the door. Finally, get her a couple of books, and Gilbert's behind. I'm at the register. The lady's in front of me, and Gilbert's behind her. But he was always sitting there or standing there because that's where he was at. Mm-hmm. So she comes up and starts to pay, and of course Gilbert's right behind her, and Gilbert's talking. I'm over there telling Gilbert, signaling, "Hey man, be quiet, dude," because nobody understands him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, when he was there, only me and Mongolian Stomper over there.
You kind of have a preface for it, so because if you just walked into an establishment and you had especially handicapped person screaming "chicken, chicken," you'd kind of be like, "Hey, I'm not ever going back in there."
Yeah, and they were always constantly, cussing out in Spanish, which doing
some. That's probably more emphatic to like you kind of know it's like, hey, these guys are being like,
Yeah, well, like I said, I knew him. She did it, so she would have probably taken offense to him or something. I don't know. She was getting scared.
You were
So
the
anyway,
good guy in all this.
trying to mellow everybody out.
She's
Of course,
a
we were
good
having a good time.
God.
Just to come in.
She's a good
Oh,
God.
here's Gilbert. He gets the
It's
fucking
not
gum.
indeed.
Oh,
He gets the gum and starts chewing on the gum, and I could see it, and all that moisture on his mouth was all dried and pasty already.
Sucked back up.
Starting to see all these little bubbles on the side of his mouth and shit. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh man. And then he all of a sudden he started coughing. And there he goes, and he's coughing. And then he starts to hack hard.
Oh no.
And these
Popping
little
his
white,
blood vessels in his eyes and stuff.
yeah, really bad. And all these little white speckly specks start splattering everywhere. And I'm seeing this because I'm looking at him and I see the back of the lady getting sprayed on.
Oh no.
Yes. So I can't laugh because I'm facing her and I'm really trying not to.
Because then she'd be
And
like,
I
what
know
do you...
know she's getting wet. I mean, like,
Oh, no.
not just a little bit, like, wet.
It's like flicking spackle at the back of her head.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm just laughing to myself. Of course, I've done that a lot. Learned how to chuckle and keep it inward. And this dude's just slobbering all over. And she kind of feels the wind coming from his fucking Godzilla mouth over there. And she turns around like, do you have to do that behind me kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And he's still doing it. White all around his mouth. He looks like he's fucking got rabies or something. And he gets pissed off at the gum because it made him choke so bad that he grabbed his gum and went toward the door, and he fucking sat there. And this guy, when he throws, he looks like he's gonna throw real far and has his arm all bended all and everything. So he reaches real far like he's gonna throw a baseball pitch, and chunks the gum. And the gum falls right there at the threshold of the door.
It just falls straight down.
Yeah, because it got stuck on his hand. Now I'm still laughing, and he sees it, and he wants to pick it up, and he goes to pick it up, and sticks to his hand, and he tries to get it off. He finally gets it off, launches it, and I'm watching him. He's watching, and we're all watching the show. And Mondo is watching the show, but he's in the very far back, and he's over there chuckling. And we're all laughing except for her.
Yeah,
and I'm
she's like, what
oh
the
my
fuck?
God. This dude comes inside, what do you call it? Leans up against the comic book stand again and just sits there and looks and still hacking a little bit and going, and fucking Mondo's in the back laughing, and you just have to visualize this shit. He's like a Homer Simpson, but without the big old belly,
Yeah. It's like,
and he's sitting there. Yeah, and then finally he looks at me and goes, Pinche Chicle. like it was the bubble gum's fault, right? And I'm fucking cracking up. I'm literally laughing, man. I'm laughing so bad, and I'm ringing this lady up. I'm trying to keep my composure, but it's so fucking hard. I look over there. Then I look over there at the Mongolian stumper of fucking Mondo Carvalho's a big old biker. Mm-hmm. He used to be with the Hells Angels, I think, and he used to wear the jacket around. That's why it was intimidating.
He already looked pretty big, and then he put a big like slab of leather on himself.
Yeah, and this dude does the Matrix, goes all the way backwards because it was like a bend or a fold where you couldn't see, and he looks back at me. I mean, this dude's doing a total back bend, looks at Gilbert and looks at me, and then he looks at Gilbert and says, and then he's still in the Matrix fold, looking at us and goes, "You better not choke, because I'm not gonna give you mouse to mouse." I'm just fucking cracking up. And it's like, God damn it. Why me?
I was trying to help these people.
She bags up her stuff. I do the change, exchange, give her the change, and I'm laughing. And she's looking at me laughing and say, "You got to understand, ma'am, I deal with these motherfuckers every day." And there's always something that comes out of this all the time. And that day, it was that one. And this dude comes up to come pay for his books, and I'm still laughing. I didn't say nothing to him because, he was just being himself.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that he was doing the Matrix pin back there, and then saying that is like, you better not choke, because I'm not gonna give you mouth to mouth. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on
He
here?
just had to go well out of his way just to let you know he didn't want to like put lips on you.
Well, that's the whole thing, because he looked at Gilbert and then looked at me and then looked at Gilbert and still saw all that salivation all around his mouth and stuff, all white. Looked like a clown, man. So I got my laugh, and I was like, "Oh, my ribs were fucking hurting. I couldn't stand up because my ribs were so hurting and so bad." But anyway, you had to be there, and she was. I wonder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was the kid laughing?
Well, no, because he was more like that Christian type of raised child where, you don't laugh at people kind of thing, or,
He was just kind of silent and composure.
He was dead, dude. He was dead. But I did see a little chuckle coming out of his, like his side grin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no
But
life behind his eyes, completely dead.
He was dead. He was dead, dude. And then he saw that, and it kind of like put a little sparkle in his eye, because he's like, "Wow,
I'm sure
there is funny shit out here."
Yeah, I'm sure his mom like ripped up his comics in front of him after that. He's like, "That's what reading comic books gets you. Then I'm not letting you read these." And she just rips them all up.
I know, right? You're gonna grow up to be just like them. It's like, oh my god, that was so messed up, man.
Y'all ruined that kid's life for no reason.
Yeah, she did come in a couple of times, and then she come in and she actually asked me. She goes, "How?" How are your friends? Have they been in here lately? Oh no, you gotta understand. I see these guys every day, man. It's like,
especially after they fucking coughed on me.
Yeah.
They're
still around. I'd hate for them to be around.
Like on her back of her dress, her church dress.
Yeah, I
and
wish
everything.
they were fucking dead. I mean,
I hope they're okay.
God bless.
Yeah, I was tripping out, man. Oh my god.
That's another thing we would probably talk about. The big R word.
Retard?
Yes, retard.
What's that? Retard?
Yeah.
I don't even know why they can't say it. I mean, what? Who's it offending?
I was gonna say I don't really know, because obviously you were like laughing in Gilbert's face, and he probably didn't even think anything of it.
Well, no, because I'm thinking he knows he's a fucking clown. I mean, why would you say that too? I'm not going to give you mouth to mouth. I mean, what made that come up? That's the way everybody fucking jokes around. You know what I'm saying? Retarded or not. It just seemed funny as shit, because that's everyday life, man. That was everyday life.
We can probably talk about that a little bit, because I didn't even know I didn't know anything about mental retardation or saying retard when I was going to school and when I was growing up. I never even really heard anyone use it as a mean thing, as a slur. I always heard stupid, idiotic, and I only started hearing retard after they were doing the campaigns to not say the R word. Because then after that,
everybody was saying it, right?
Yes. Because after they told us what it meant, people started using it. I really think school systems and all those movements like shot themselves in the foot, because they're trying to do it with kids, and kids already don't like I learned about racism from a teacher. I never knew anything about racism or like thinking of other people differently because of their skin color. It was introduced to me because they try to teach me to not be racist. I was like, what's racism? It's like, oh, it's when you like don't like other people for their like different like skin of like color or how they look. It's like, I've never thought about doing that. Is that a thing? It's like, yeah, you were doing it. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
They're like, oh, you don't know racism? Let me teach you a little
Yeah,
something about
and
it.
then and that's exactly what happened with the R word. It was like retard. Like they did a scenario. They did a fucking scenario between kids. Oh, did I tell you about the kid who shit his pants?
No.
Oh my god, I need to tell you about that one then, because that ooh, it's kind of what happened. It's related to this, but basically they like set up a scenario between two kids, and they were like playing a video game or something, and they did like one of them lost. He was like, "Oh, that was retarded," and yeah, I was like, "Oh wow," like that was.
And like it pauses time, and like a grown up
It
comes up
did,
like, whoa,
it
whoa,
did.
whoa, whoa.
No, it really did, and then it like stopped. It's like, whoa, that was not cool. Using the R word in that manner is not appropriate, and is disrespectful to those with actual mental retardation. They didn't use the medical term. Well, mental retardation is the medical term, but they still use the R word in their PSA about not saying retard. And then it went on from there, and the kids were like, "Wow, I learned something." Like it was a bunch of. If you can imagine that, and Sean, if you could guess it, you can imagine how the rest of the fucking video went.
Yeah, no, it's just like every like fucking school video.
Yeah. Well, after that, everyone started using retard, and they would put up the signs and everything like that, and then enough
like,
people
wow.
were. Yeah.
A slur I can use, and then they just like fucking started
That's
using it.
exactly what happened. I had never heard anyone call anyone else a retard until we saw that video, and then it never stopped.
Yeah, that's how it was with me when I went to school.
Were they doing those programs with you?
They started like right afterwards, and then you're hearing it from other people, and then of course you're out in the public saying, "Well, look at that fucking retard" or something stupid, and then they're looking at you like, "Oh my god, you can't be saying that." And I'm like, "What, fucking?"
Yeah,
And they're
exactly.
like, no, retard. And I'm like, "What the fuck? I can't say
retarded.
That's retarded.
yes, and then I would say that.
Yeah.
Well, that's retarded, but you can't say retarded. And it was like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it because I wasn't. I'm old school, man. You can't teach an old dog new tricks like that. You can't don't say the N word because that's all we said, and then come out in life and say, don't say the N word. Well, that's what we were taught.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God, I felt that over here in the back of my neck.
I fucking sprayed it all over my hands.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But no, I get what you mean, because I've been seeing those moments form in front of you like all my life, and you're like, what?
What do you mean?
They took away this now? God damn it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, life was kind of depressing in that state of mind.
In that sense, I'm going to tell you a story about some very mean children, and kind of how that stuff kind of led to just like, what do you call it?
The guy shitting his pants?
Yeah. Well, okay, so the shit pants incident wasn't really like the biggest thing.
Shit pant guy.
It's what the parents and the teachers decided to do that really fucked this kid over.
Oh my God.
Because basically the shit pants incident happened like, it was like in elementary school. I can't even remember the kid's name because they seriously like blasted him into ambiguity. And then it only reoccurred like for another month, maybe in middle school. But basically it was like during one of our pageants. I can't remember which one it was. It was like the random bullshit where they like teach us a song and we wave our arms and do a little motion at this part of the word, and then it's like for the family and shit like that. Well, this kid in particular had a solo with a few other kids. I don't even remember what pageant it was. It was sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I can't even remember what the lines they were doing, but he was kind of like, he started talking, and you know like that kind of panic you get when you really have to shit.
Like, oh god.
Yeah, he was like, and
I need to go.
Yeah, so he's like, and then the pilgrim, and like he started losing his words, and then it just got to the point where he kind of just like not sat there, but stood there in front of everyone and kind of just like leaned forward a bit, and then he kind of just shit his pants.
The classic like I need a fart move.
Yeah, it was kind of like I
lean
need a
forward.
fart and try to squeeze it out, but he literally just shit like his britches.
He's like, check this guy.
Yeah,
Check this out, shit self.
So like, a lot of the kids didn't know what happened. They just were like, they were being rushed off the stage, and then the teachers like stopping the whole shit, and we didn't really understood what happened. Like a majority of us were like, what happened? Dude? Like we thought we were that bad they had to like end the show and just like stopped it. Like we didn't think
everybody else a complex.
Yeah, because we thought it was like, oh, that was weird how Johnny was acting. That's not his name. But then the next day they took us into the little like gymnasium where we do PE, and they're like, we need to have a serious discussion about bullying, and we're like, okay, and then they brought him up in front of us, and we're basically like, well, so and so pooped his pants during the pageant, and then we, oh my god. No, everyone got a light bulb in their fucking head, and they realized like, oh shit, that's what happened. Immediate uproar, immediate laughing and name calling and like giving him nicknames and shit like that. It was
little Bobby Pooper Pamper.
They fucked him up. It's not even funny talking about it.
He fucking shit his pants, dog.
That's exactly what happened. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, he shit his pants! Get him!" Because they realized like it all connected, and then once they knew it was like this kid just shit his pants at the pageant in front of everyone, it just became the funniest thing fucking ever. And it wouldn't have happened if I guess the principals and all of them thought we understood it and just immediately outed him. And they kind of realized what they did, but they also didn't want to like rush him away again. So they tried to quiet us all down. They had little Johnny in the front the whole time. We're all just like ragging on him for shitting his pants. And he's like having to sit up there and take all this abuse while they're being like, now if y'all don't settle down, we're going to take recess away and this and that. Like,
oh my god.
They were trying to buckle down, but they were just torturing this kid for like just much longer than it had to. We finally got it quieted down. They said, oh well, y'all shouldn't be bullying, and this is why. This is a very sensitive issue, blah blah blah, this and that. They went over the reason that we shouldn't like be bullying him. They sent him back to his spot to go sit down, and like a few of the kids had the same ideas. Like when he sat down, everyone went so they fucked this kid.
Hive man.
Yes.
Hive mind.
He got fucked up. It wasn't funny. After I think a few months, he moved schools.
Oh no,
yeah,
that's not cool.
But that's not the kicker. The kicker was we went on without our rest of our lives. We kind of laughed about it a bit. Haha, Johnny shit his pants. But then we totally forgot. Middle school comes around. Middle school consisted of like 2 or 3 other schools. Like all the elementary schools were like 3 separate districts. And then middle school, they kind of combined them. So you kind of met kids that you never met before, and you talked to other kids that you probably wouldn't have seen, probably only interacted with our cross-school, like, little events. That like, they would take us to East, and we'd all do, like, a little reading in the library, or we would go to another place and watch movies. That was the only time you'd interact with other kids. So things were going on as normal, and then we get a new student.
I think I remember this.
It's Johnny Shitpants as the new student. And a few of I want to say
Are you
some
laughing, Sean?
yeah
it's funny.
I want to say some of us recognized him. I don't think a lot of us did though. If anything, I didn't even recognize him too until the second incident happened, where they had another announcement. They put us all in the gym again, and I can't remember what the PSA was about originally. It was something to do with bullying, but then they pointed it out, and they were like, so for instance, if one of your your fellow students had an incident as a child where maybe they like pooped their pants at a recital, it fucking clicked with somebody, and they stood up and pointed at Johnny Shitpants and was like, you're Johnny Shitpants.
Oh my god!
It fucking clicked, and he's like, "What? No, I'm not. I've never done that." He was trying to play it off, but everyone was so quiet in the gym that it was just staring at 2 people, and you're just staring at one lose his fucking grip. because he was like immediately folding under the pressure. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, yeah, it was the so-and-so recital. You shit your pants in front of everyone. He's like,
That was so funny.
Yeah, they laughed, and a few other people were laughing and chuckling, and then people started talking between each other. And because the school was a melting pot, all the kids from his original school were being like, oh, yeah, that happened. Like, he was, like, in the recital, and he, like, leaned forward and kind of, like, started shitting in front of everyone while he was trying to groan out his words and stuff like that. It's this and that. They did the same fucking thing to him where they tried to like calm us down because they demanded respect and needed to finish their PSA. But then he still had to sit there and like, if I was a teacher, I would have grabbed him and just like thrown him out of the school. Like, get out of here. Like,
like don't come back. You're fucked.
Yeah. I don't know what got into them, but they pointed the kid out again.
Oh my god.
They pointed the kid out again. They try to rile us down, but we were also middle schoolers at this point. That's when you're like probably the shittiest age. You're like, fuck teachers and fuck that. If I get in trouble, who gives a shit? Like, detentions is like 30 minutes long, whatever. I'm gonna fuck shit up, and they fucked this guy's shit. I think it was less than a week after that he moved.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
The poor guy.
And all of that was done because the fucking teachers and the principals didn't want to leave well enough alone.
My God.
And they did that shit with a lot of stuff, like sex ed. They did that with me again, and a few other kids I remember. With racism, they did that. Jesus, what else?
Well, those teachers won't fuck at teaching you, huh?
Those teachers were like all. I want to say most teachers are retarded.
He said the word. He said the word.
I said the word of the day.
Jesus.
Nah, I growing up, I thought as a kid, adults knew like a lot of that stuff. But as I was going through those times, I was like, these guys are fucking idiots.
They're idiots, man. I didn't go to college because the people that were teaching in college were dumb fucks, man.
Yeah, that might be a cliche thing to say for like dropouts and shit like that, but legitimately, what they did for that kid was the stupidest thing. They should have known better, and they probably killed this kid. Like he got old enough to realize the repercussions of all that, and he decided to just end it. Like, that's how bad this was. It was not. It was funny, but if you had been there to witness it, you'd probably been like, "Oh man, just stop, dude. He's dead. Just leave it alone."
Have you looked him up on Facebook?
No, I can't even remember his name. I don't even remember his last name, and I use Johnny Shits just because, like, even if I did remember his name, I do not want to draw any attention to this kid.
Well, it's just like you can find everyone on Facebook.
But that's the thing. I don't want any like of this coming back to him. He does not deserve it.
Or just to make sure, it's like, hey, I know what happened to you in middle school. Yeah, are you okay?
You will make him have. That will be his psychotic break. He'll murder his family of 3 and commit suicide.
You're like, damn.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
I remember that shit.
I know.
I kill my family.
Yeah, I'm gonna just end it here. No, exactly. He's like, I don't want my family to be without me, but I also don't want them to know my secret.
That's funny because I remember actually this girl in my class.
Johnny Shits, if you're out there, mad respect. Don't kill yourself.
Yeah, if you're that guy.
Yeah, just move to a different city. You'll be fine if you just move a different city. All you need is distance and time. You'll be okay. Don't kill yourself. Anyway, Sean, go on.
I remember this girl like pissed herself, and I still know her to this day, but I just never brought it up. We were like, I don't know.
I was gonna say, do not use names then.
You know her because yeah. Oof. Because I was talking about her. I was talking about her like at Austin or in Austin with the cousins. Oh. It's like I was saying I was gonna marry her and all this shit.
Oh no, classic, Sean!
It was like classic primary shit, right? I actually still know her today, and she's a fucking whore. So, anyways, but
She
I remember-
left me.
no, thank God, nigga, like.
She pissed on me and left.
So, okay, in PE, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but we were just like sitting next to each other, and all I remember was like a guy or someone like saying like, "Ew, she peed."
She peed. Oh, that's
And
the
then, like,
worst. That's the classic
Yeah.
90s movie.
And I looked over, and there's like just a huge puddle of piss right next to me. Like,
Oh, that
damn,
that
that's a
much?
huge puddle of piss. You know, it was a lot. It was like so much. I was
Just
like, wow.
unadulterated pissing on the floor.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And like they took her away and everything, and then like we
Take
we
her
got
away.
we got like brought inside and everything, and then like I never thought about it since. And then like whenever I went back to the high school I went to, because like she stayed there.
Oh, not to interrupt you, Sean, but Dad, think of a story similar to this.
Which
Or-
one? The shitting? The pissing?
I guess
The-
somebody who like publicly humiliated themselves like in
the
any kind of
bullying?
school.
Which one?
Both. They publicly humiliated themselves and then they got bullied somehow for it. I'm sure you have some
She
high
did-
school for y'all might have been worse.
She didn't get bullied. Like honestly, like that was like after that incident, I never heard anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I just remember like a huge like puddle of piss, her being taken away, and then like we're going inside, and like that's like the last I've ever heard
Every
of it.
time you say that, I just imagine them like picking up this little girl by her like arms and just dragging
like-
her out of the thing as she like pissed.
Okay, shut the fuck up. I'm the guy who shit his pants.
No. Oh no, not this story.
But I can laugh about it, man, because it was quite funny.
Yeah, it
Did you
is.
shit your parents?
Yes, I mean he has a few of those stories, but I think I know the one you're
Oh.
talking about specifically.
I shit my pants when I drank a lot of orange juice.
Let's go.
I
Oh,
thought,
didn't, like,
no, it was
Eva
apple
tell
juice. It
this
was apple
story?
juice.
Yeah.
Somebody told the
Eva-
story. They were involved. This was like when he was young, so all the aunts were like at the house with him.
Yes.
I remember like
It was funny.
Eva was telling a story about like someone went to IHOP and they like shit everywhere in the bathroom.
It was probably her.
Oh no! Ugh. We should have Eva on the podcast.
Oh,
No. That'd be too much, I
She
think.
could be funny sometimes. Well, we remember playing like Cards Against Humanity with her, and then Ursula reminded me of it recently. I was like, "Wow, that was fucking nutty!" Like,
It's crazy. She came out of nowhere. She was like,
yeah, I'll play. Yeah.
no. We're like, come on, play, Eva. Okay.
Now she got into it. She's like licking the cheese off my penis. Anyway, okay, wait. Okay, yeah. Oh, so Sean, finish your story about the girl. Did anything ever come of that?
no, nothing came of it.
What a fucking boring ass story you just tried to share with the class.
Well, like
Nigga, that's the one you're gonna marry.
that one. Okay, so like
He did say that.
I did say that, and well, no, she turned out to be like a whore. So like,
Young
thank
love.
God. Nah.
I guess we can do that for the next one. Talk about love. That's what I was supposed to do with my wife.
She sleep.
I don't. She just flicked me off. She's never done that. I don't know if she's really mad or not. Because I wouldn't let her drive inebriated to Walmart.
Oh no, I think get busted.
Yeah.
wouldn't let
No, exactly.
idea. Fuck you.
Even if it wasn't for the sake that, like, she could get into a crash. There's like a shit ton of cops out right now. So like, if she got
Oh,
pulled
yeah.
over
They're
and they
trying
just
to-
like smell it on her, she's cooked.
they're trying to meet their quota.
Yeah.
Well, it's Halloween weekend. Yeah.
Well, I just say that, but in that sense too, like I'm such a good driver. The last time they fucking pulled me over was because I didn't have my blinker on in the turning lane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he actually pulled me over when I managed to not have my license on me. But the reason I had left the house was to go talk to a bank, and they needed my license. So, like, I took a picture of it, and then I left to the bank. Like, I had to email it to them for them to do that, and then I had to come in and finalize some shit. I did that, but I left my license on the table where I took the picture of it and sent it from my computer. So then on my way back, which is like just a 5-minute drive, I'm in the turning lane. I don't put my blinker on and I get immediately pulled over. So yeah, exactly. I was like, this cannot be happening. This is literally the worst fucking thing. And then like right as he parked, he was like, you know why I pulled you over? He's like, I have no earthly idea, sir. It was like, oh, okay. And then he went off and like did something again. But then he came back and he was like, I pulled you over because you weren't signaling at the turn only lane. I was like, what the I even asked him, I was like, is that really a law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I heard multiple people like get pulled over because of it.
Yeah, but in that, I've never heard of this before. I'd never heard of it at all. And in my lane, even if that was the law or the issue, there was literally no way to turn any other way than in the turn, because it was the most farthest left like lane on a crossing intersection. So even if I wanted to go straight, there would have been no room. If I had broken the law at that point, I had just caused an accident. So the law shouldn't have been, you know, put your left blinker on to make sure you're identifying to all the other drivers you're turning in the turn lane. And the lane designated for turning is like, no, because at that point, I've already just sideswiped you and like T-boned the other guy. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I never thought to have my blinker on when I'm in the turn only lane. And he pulled me over for that. Yeah, he took my, well, he was like, do you have a driver's license on you? I was like, I do, but just not with me. I swear to God, I showed him the timestamps on my email because I literally did it 4 minutes ago that I took this picture of my license. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I was going to the bank over there. I just sent an email with my license. I literally have it. It's like up to date. It's the most clear picture you could want of it because it was for bank usage. Like, please, like if you could take that or take the info from that, because I am literally going back to go get my license when you pulled me over.
You know how many times you've heard that story?
Yeah, well, exactly. I was like, probably been bullshitted like so much about it, and I actually could have proved it to him. It was like, yeah, look at the email. This is 4 minutes ago today. Like, I wouldn't have this ready to go for like every day of the week in case I needed to bullshit a cop. Like, this is what happened 4 minutes ago. Please just take the license.
Please.
Yeah. Well, he ended up doing it, and then he just let me off for no, like, he let me off with a warning and all that, but I don't know why. Like, was it possible that he was going to impound my car, and the reason was going to be that I didn't signal when I turned in a lane that you can only turn left in? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't want to do that or have, like, a case on his hand. So he just took my info and gave me away. But with that being said, it's like, I fucking hate cops. It's like, I didn't know they were looking for that shit.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they were scrutinizing me that bad. Like, I pride myself as an actual good driver compared to my
Is she still flipping you off?
Huh?
I said, is she still flipping you off?
No, I don't know.
She's like, you goddamn liar.
Yeah. I probably have the better record, though. I think she's destroyed the car more than I have.
You mean the new car?
Yeah, the new car.
Yeah, the new car.
Marissa's car was that was different. I wasn't in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
What'd your mind like go?
Okay.
Where'd your mind go whenever you first hit it?
It was mostly disbelief.
Yeah, because whenever I hit the mailbox, in the rental. I was like, no way, I just fucking did that. And like the mailbox is like fucking torn off the fucking post, and I was like, okay, I did just do that.
It's very
Holy
obvious
shit.
you did, and you heard it, and you saw it, and you felt it, but you're like, there's no way. That was like a twig or something.
Uh-huh. So I was like, no way, I just did that. It's
Okay.
like, yes, Sean, you just fucking hit the mailbox.
That's different. Because when I did it, I definitely looked behind me for the car, but Marissa's car was so close, it looked like the driveway. It like, because that camera is like grainy and shit, and it was dark and it was foggy.
You must have been like really tired or some shit
No,
like that.
that didn't help, and it was the literal like stereotypes of like, sir, my eyes were puffy and it was dark and it was foggy and I might have had like allergies. Like, it was literally dark. It was foggy, and Marissa's car was so close to the ground, all I saw was gravel and then darkness, but that darkness was like the paint of her hood. So I was like, I'm clear to go. Like, I'm ready to reverse. And I do it for a half a second. I immediately hear a and I'm like, lurch forward. I'm like, there's no fucking way I hit a car.
Like the first time you're ever like in an accident, like it's like the first feeling you get is like disbelief, like that didn't just happen, not to me, right?
Yeah, it would never happen to me. That's
Oh
my god, that's how I felt about our accident, Dad. It's like no fucking way a drunk driver just swerved into us. That shit doesn't happen. That shit happens in the movies.
You got knocked the stupid fuck out.
Yeah, I was like, no way did I just slam in front of a car, flip over like with my dad in a ball and land in a ditch. It's like, no fucking way. And I jumped up immediately, and then I looked at the bike and I looked at your leg next to your head. I was like, it fucking did.
Bruh.
That's why bruh is such a good slang term, because it does like encapsulate disbelief and then realization.
That's messed up.
That's so fucking funny. But yeah, I immediately said that I parked the car, and then I like went outside, looked at it, and I thought I should really like get this out of it. So then I unparked the car, put it in drive, and then I just hear more.
Oh my god!
I get out, I get out and look at it, and yeah, like I just removed it. I didn't like rip out the guts or anything like that, but I basically took myself out of her fender, and it was kind of there. I opened the door expecting y'all to be awake and panicking, but y'all were sound of fucking sleep. So in my head too, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed after this. So, and that was all I cared about. So I tapped Marissa on the shoulder. I was like, Marissa, I just hit your car. And she's like, shut up. And I was like, Marissa, I hit your fucking car. She's like, no, you did not. And then the disbelief hit her. She's like, no fucking way you hit my car. And it's, oh my God, it's funny thinking about it now. But back then too, I lost total fucking empathy. I just was thinking, I'm going to sleep after this. And I was just looking at Marissa's face as it went from like annoyance to anger to disbelief and then to incredible like, oh no! Yeah.
My car.
Like it happened. It happened all in half a second. I said, yeah. And then I walked back upstairs and I went to sleep, and Ursula was like, you're not going back to work? It's like, I hit Marissa's car. And she's like, no fucking way you hit her car. And I just said, yeah. And I knocked the fuck out. I was done. It was tomorrow's problem. It was tomorrow Christian's problem.
Never had that problem.
Oh my fucking God.
I think you were just in shock, man.
It was a little bit of that, but I was extremely tired. That overnight loading job fucking destroyed me in terms of that. Well, it was the combination of that and going into the store, but yeah.
Why were you leaving?
Huh?
For the UPS or for the?
Why were you leaving? What were you? Oh, you were going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then I would go to the store, and then I'd be like fucking ogled out of my mind. And you're like, "Why the fuck aren't you working?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Dad. I should be." And I'd like go doing something, but there would be times where I just zoned out.
Yeah, I know.
And even I was like, I shouldn't be fucking working. Not in the sense of like I should be here. I'm fucking tired. It's like I shouldn't be trying to put effort in the store because all I'm doing is like staring at a wall of comics. And I had intended to organize them or readjust them or list some of the stuff on there, but I was just staring.
Yeah, I know. That was a sad mistake, but you're young. You're supposed to be able to handle that shit.
Dude. I wasn't getting enough sleep as a kid either.
Fuck that, bro. Honestly, like I'm full-time employee, full-time school. Fuck this.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I hate this.
Well, on top of that, I can't even afford it now. I used to be able to afford it, but that's kind of when I was like living with Dad, and you know I didn't have to worry about like say an electric bill or a car bill, and that's why I put off getting a car for the longest time. And now that we both have a car payment, we're all grimacing. But but yeah, I used to be able to afford to go to work, school like full time, and then do school full time. But then trying to do it all and then pay for literally everything yourself, like it's like yeah, I'm gonna build a career.
No working, huh?
It does not work. It's a fucking system, man. We're all just cogs in the machine, man. We should do something like Rage Against the Machine. Rage Against the Machine.
What it is.
That's where I got the name from.
Well, you write it down.
Yeah.
And you'll forget. Hey, what was it we came up with? What was that we were talking about?
It was brilliant. It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Rage Against the Machine.
Disbelief.
Oh yeah,
disbelief.
Crashing our fucking car.
Tragicness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in terms of that, I don't hold it against anyone. Like for like just me having two jobs, because I did get moments out of that where I was like, oh shit, yeah, we got like a lot done today, and then over here I'm like, oh yeah, I saved a lot of money. I can afford like more books and shit. It was for a cause, but then it got to the point is like I told UPS is like, yeah, I'm going to school full time. I cannot be doing this anymore. He's like, yeah, that's fine, because there'd be moments too where I just didn't come in or I like slept through the whole fucking shift, and I was like, you know what? It's tomorrow's problem. Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
And even then I would tell him too, is like, I just fucking tired. Like I wasn't up all night drinking.
You're like, my bad.
Yeah, it would kind of be that, but then after it happened enough times, like, okay, we're gonna write you up. But they have like such good unions. When they did that, it's like just Channel 4 Article 19. It'll go through the system and then they'll always drop it. It's like, always? It's like, yeah, they'll always drop it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Fucking stupid
like
shit.
Yeah, like they have a bunch of this useless logistics just for like not firing me. Like they could have just taken out the middleman and just not written me up. But because the union was so good, they were like, nah, do a Article 19 if you ever get written up, and especially if it was for tardiness, fill out this checkbox, and they will never write you up. It's like,
wow.
It's like, is that a threat? Like, what the fuck? I just sent a secret message to this guy in the mailroom that I'd kill his fucking family if he gives me a, what do you call it? If he gives me a write-up, and then he's just sitting there grimacing. Yeah, it's like, why does everyone know how to fucking kill my family? Or how do they all know how to tell me secretly that they're gonna kill my family?
And I don't even have family.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah, that's
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hurry, Sean! I wonder if you can hear me.
Like there is thing, like if you scream loud enough. He'd probably just hear you if you're screaming loud enough in the house.
No, you can hear me from the house, yeah.
Oh, okay, like that. Mm.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm screaming from the living room, Sean!
I don't know.
And all I hear is, yeah!
I was gonna say the space between the first floor and the second floor of that house is weird.
It is.
Because there'd be times where we know nobody's up there, and you could hear like footsteps or at least creaking on the same tempo of footsteps or something like that.
Yeah, somebody up there?
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah.
Well, because then you would ask us too when we were up there, but we were like sleeping. It's like, are y'all fucking like walking around, running around up there or something like that? It's like, yeah, it's like, no, just we were asleep all night. We actually slept earlier, so you shouldn't have heard anything like at all.
Damn ghost again.
Yeah, the ghost. Maybe we can end the podcast with that, like telling a ghost story. They try to do things like that, like tell a ghost story, or if you have guests on, they like share a story that pertains to them like that.
Yeah.
We should try to get guests on too, just from like the family or.
You know, it's funny though, man. I'm gonna tell you a story about ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
I believe them. I believe in ghosts, right? Because I mean, there was a time where I didn't, but then I had an episode and experienced the whole fucking deal, like for real. And then everything came back, and everything that you were told when you were a kid about ghost stories and stuff, and now it makes sense because now you have experienced that.
Yeah.
But until you've experienced the ghost story part, you'll blow it off.
Yeah. Well, that's the main reason we went to that fucking Zach Baggins museum in New Vegas, because we wanted to kind of like, you know, get a jolt, have an experience, and a lot of this shit was set up for that, but it was just all fucking smoke and mirrors. Maybe I should have broken the rules.
It was all gaudy, or I'm sorry, it was touristy. Lies?
Yeah. Well, of course, you know, you think it is, but a part of you wants to believe is like, yeah, if I spend the night in this haunted like establishment that has a very gruesome history with a bunch of recording equipment, I might interact with something, or at least something I couldn't explain to myself.
Yeah.
And they get one, you know, every fucking time they visit a place. But
wow.
do they really have to like set all of that up just to have an experience, or do they just go in there as like, yeah, just have the little radio say something like child, and we'll relate it to the previous history of this place or something like that? Because it's so easy to rig those shows.
It's all for show, dude. It's all for show. Fucking ghost is gonna come out and scare the shit out of you. That's all there is to it. And sometimes that's what happens, and sometimes it isn't. It's just to how do I say, pre-warn you, pre-tell you, pre-show you that something's about to happen or something's gonna happen, and it's not to scare you.
Yeah. Well, then even then, Ursula would say stuff like she when she was younger thought she could see, you know, ghosts and spirits and negative energy and shit like that. And you think it's like, there's no fucking way. But there's also a very good chance that it could been something like that, and you're just chalking it up to like childhood delusion. It's like, yeah, you had an imaginary friend or something like that. You were a child. But in actuality, that could have just been the child's way of thinking logically of a ghost that they saw.
No. Well, no, I believe that a lot of I believe now that a lot of these kids are speaking to ghosts, are seeing ghosts, and actually have interactions with them.
Yeah. That's how all the horror movies start.
Do what?
That's how all the horror movies start.
But that's it. I mean, think about it. It's happened like that for a reason. It's not just coming out of somebody's imagination. It's something that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically, all these movies, when they come up with these movies, they're talking to you out of experience. And that's just something, whether you want to believe it or not. And of course, you know, they add a couple of things here and there, but for the main part, it's just for like show.
Yeah.
But it's for real. It's for real, man. I mean, it's for real.
That's what I want to think. That's why I kind of want to go to these places, like, again, to kind of have an experience. Because I can't imagine back to when I did, if I ever did.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you here a little bit. If you really want to go to one, and I'm telling everybody this, there's a place in Gonzales, Texas. I don't know, or I don't remember which one it is. But if you look it up, it'll come up on the internet. It's a bed and breakfast, and they do have ghosts there, and you will experience it. I didn't believe it, and we experienced it. Now, whether it's all
Like
show
it's their
or
smoke and mirrors, like they have like tunnels in the
yes,
walls or something like that, so they can go through and
yeah,
like smack you
scare the
around.
fuck out of you when you're asleep or something. Yeah,
Yeah, and because they're in the
but a
wall, you
lot of
can't
people,
logicize it.
right? And there's some things, man. There's some things that we saw, and it was kind of scary. I mean, I slept. I was tired, because it was bed and breakfast. We were working, and that was the only place we could go to. But there was a couple guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were really scared shitless about this, and they couldn't sleep all night. They walked out of their rooms, fucking bloodshot eyes, and it's like, what happened? We sleep all day, man. You fucking hear footsteps and shit all day. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I was asleep right there across from you. I didn't hear nothing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I was asleep, but I mean, you wake up, when you hear shit like that.
Yeah,
And this
especially you.
motherfucker
You're a light fucking sleeper.
yeah, and then talking about, footsteps on the hallway and stuff like that. Well, I didn't hear nothing, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was a bunch of stuff. There was one actually when I was actually working. I don't know if I told y'all that one.
I don't
Ghost
know.
story. We're sleeping in 3 trailers over there in Catula, and they kept saying that the trailers were haunted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe them. I didn't believe them until I actually saw the guy. And I went over there to the other workers and, hey, man, did you see Max? Max was this big old ugly dude, like the ghost.
I think you had
Big old
told me
pipe.
that one in fleeting, but you should definitely we should definitely close this podcast out with that story.
Well, let's do it.
All right. So, for the viewing's audience's pleasure, we give you Tales from the Lucas.
Yeah.
This will be our end
All right,
segment. Where we retell some scary stories that have happened to us. Hope y'all enjoy that. Let us know down in the comments your own ghost stories if you have any for the last segment. Also, do check down in the description where we have our Patreon where you can donate to the podcast and also support the book that will be published in support of that as well. And without further ado, Dad's very scary, spooky ghost story.
One time at bank camp. So I used to work out in Catula, and I used to work in the oil fields, and we used to sleep in trailers out there since we too expensive to get hotel motel. Sometimes we did, but we slept in our own yards.
Yeah,
And it was a trailer that was
for the non-Texans out there, explain what Cthulhu is.
Cthulhu's an oil field, small oil field town where it only has like a Golden Crisp and a Taco Bell, and that's it.
You literally drive down the one road, and that's the fucking town.
It pretty much got like 4 stoplights, and that's it. So maybe population of 1,200, maybe less. But it's right smack in the middle of an intersection for doing oil and oil business. And we used to stay out there since it was we used to have a yard out there, store all our pipes and drilling material and our rigs and everything. And we used to have a little storage unit for ourselves out there, and had trailers where we could actually sleep, since that was where a lot of the drilling was going on in South Texas.
Yeah, being able to do it on site.
Yeah, pretty much. There was this trailer that was brought in, and supposedly this one guy had passed away in the trailer, and the trailer was used for a not a stakeout, but a surveillance trailer or something like that, to keep an eye on all the wetbacks out there, and all the illegal immigrants crossing. Mm-hmm. So this was close to Mexico area. So anyway, that trailer was brought in. The guy supposedly had died in there. We didn't know. I mean, I didn't know, but they tell you stories when you're hired on, and they tell you this is on it. So they said that this trailer was really, really, really haunted. Well, you don't. Like I said before, I I believe in ghosts. I believe in ghost stories. I've seen them. I hear. I've actually spoken to them. I've seen them, and this one really hit home because I, 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 you know how you're a little skeptical, right? But
Yeah.
this one really hit home because I actually saw him right there in front of me, and that shit tripped me out.
This was the one
'Cause
that
I was like,
shook Lucas awake.
yes, I was actually looking at the ghost, and I can actually see him. Anyway, we were getting home from a job, and it was a 3-man crew, and there was 3 trailers out there. So when you have a 3-man crew and you're the first one, well, you want to go get the first bedroom and the biggest bed in the trailer. So I went out to the first one, and that's the one that was haunted. Everybody else, I mean, these guys had seniority and everything else, and they were getting the other trailers because they were afraid to go to that trailer. I didn't know, so I got in that trailer. So I went out there, and there was a rig from another team, and they had just dropped off their stuff. I'm hearing noises in the back now.
Yeah, my cat is like literally standing over my computer, like looking up in the corner of a room. So
I think Sean's outside trying to scare me.
yeah.
Is that you, Sean? Stupid ass. I'll go kill you.
Yeah, of all the times to do it too.
I know, right? I'm fucking telling the goddamn spooky story. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I sat there, and I turned on the TV, and I heard noise in the back room, in the back bedroom, and I was like, wow. So the guy that I thought was there, his name was Max. He had a big old pot belly, big old dude, big old cowboy boots kind of thing, and just rough scaled looking motherfucker all the way around. And anyway, I saw him. I saw him through the doorway, and I'm looking at him. I say, "Hey, Max, you could take that bedroom back there?" And he didn't answer me. He didn't say nothing, just looking at me, and I could see his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see his silhouette, right? And his big old pot belly. And I'm looking at him, and the only thing that I noticed different were his hands. This guy's hands were humongous, like as if bees had stung him or something like that, but they were that big,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at him and like, what's the matter, Max? Cat got your tongue? You want to talk or what? He's just staring at me. Well, in the back bedroom was a master bedroom, and the bathroom. Well, he walked toward the bathroom, and I'm like, this dude didn't even want to fucking talk to me or say anything, man. What the fuck is the problem, right?
Yeah.
So I went back there, and I'm stomping on the trailer like, boom, 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 boom. Motherfucker, talk about seeing it. I opened the door to the bathroom, and there's nobody in there. And the bedrooms are small. They're not like anywhere you can hide. It's just a bed in there. So I'm thinking this fat motherfucker squeezed under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So I looked under the bed anyway, and I'm like, wow, man, there must be a trap door here. Or he ran out the window. But why would he do something like that?
Yeah.
This is what
How
I'm thinking.
could
I'm
he
like,
do something like that?
how could he do something like that? He's so huge, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, and I'm trying to figure out how the hell he got out, and I couldn't figure it out. There was no door back there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of positioned myself in the hallway and in the doorways to look like, down the trailer. And then I see him in the living room where I was at. And I'm like, how in the hell did he get over there? Of course, you're talking about a bathroom and a bedroom. So you're talking about a good 18 feet, probably 25 feet, 20 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at him, and this dude closes the door to that living room in the hallway. And I'm like, what the hell? And in the bottom of that door is a vent. And you can see through the vent. Well, I see his legs when he closed the door, like as if he put his body against the door. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And he didn't say anything, right? And he's just looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I started to make way that way, I saw what I thought was Max run out the front door through the window, because now you have a window in the hallway and you can see through to the front door, but with the screens and the screen down and everything else, you just see the movement of a body kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I see him do that, and then he's running toward the other trailer, which was behind me, and he runs past me, but on the outside. And then I get to the front door, and then I look out, and there's nobody there. I said, this dude could not have run that fast. So I go to the other trailer, which the other two guys were at, my crew. I walked over there, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Maybe this guy's sick or something, and doesn't, not thinking or something. I don't know. Anyway, I open the door, and there's the two members of my crew, and they're laughing, talking. I say, hey, man, did y'all see Max? And he looks at, the two guys looked at me. He goes, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, I was just talking to Max. Well, I was talking to Max. Max wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
He goes, Max isn't here. Max is over there eating dinner at the restaurant. And I'm like, no, he was in the bedroom. He goes, nah, man, that's that fucking ghost, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys have seen him before, and I didn't. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's that ghost that we've been telling you. But that was something I was just blowing off because,
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking to me like I'm going to be looking out for a ghost for?
Or a fucking ghost, exactly. And this motherfucker was there, and I saw him. Holy shit, my butthole puckered, and my hair stood up at the same time. I went back to the trailer, though, because I was still in disbelief. I mean, I was like, no way, no way, no way.
Mm-hmm.
But yes way, man. And I wasn't drunk, and I wasn't stoned, and I wasn't in any
inebriated sense. You were fully lucid. That's what made it even scarier for him.
Yeah, man. That shit freaked me the fuck out, man. And ever since then, man, we had a couple more episodes of the ghost being there, and not just with me, with other guys in the fucking house. I mean, literally, the motherfucker was choking somebody.
Yeah.
In bed while they were asleep. It's like, holy shit. I mean, that was weird. That was some weird shit. But anyway, yeah, that was my ghost story. And and ever since then, man, and like I said, he was real. I mean, like, real. And that wasn't the only time we've seen other ghosts out there. There's a lot of them out there. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
With that being said, if you want to see more spooky or hear more spooky tales, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out for the podcast, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.